Okay, Drew, I know that we are all excited for Thursday night football coming back, the return of the NFL season, but I know you were a little disappointed in some of the early results as Cam Akers, zero, goose egg, nada. That's what he gave your fantasy team last night. How are you feeling about him?
I mean, I thought, like a lot of other people thought, I thought he was going to be the running back one in that backfield. So I thought he was going to get the bulk of the carries. I thought he was going to get maybe even a couple of receptions here and there or something. But we were all astounded when it was Darrell Henderson who got the bulk of the carries and even a couple of catches a little bit. So I mean, it kind of shocked a lot, but I mean, 3 carries for 0 yards. I mean, at least get a yard or something. Give me at least a 0.1 or something. Give me something here. But no, it was very odd to see. I wouldn't say it was devastating because I mean, yeah, obviously you could say it was devastating, but it's just more odd to not see him get the vast majority of the carries.
I
So
will say it was devastating because you start any matchup with a zero in your
yeah,
lineup, you are hating yourself. You're asking yourself, was that guy hurt? What was going on? And I have no reason to believe that Cam Akers entered this game not healthy. I mean, hell, he
yeah,
came back for the playoffs last year off that Achilles. So I imagine the Achilles is a thing of the past. Darrell Henderson, to be exact, played 82% of the Rams' week one snaps. 82%. Cam Akers, 3 carries, 0 targets, unless you count the backwards patch, which counts as a carry, no
yeah.
yards. Hell, that kind of sucks that it wasn't after the line of scrimmage. At least you would have got at least a cheapy point from that, but can't even rely on that. Here's probably the biggest thing that hurts Cam Akers moving forward. If Darrell Henderson is getting 82% of the snaps out the gate, that tells you at best Cam Akers can hope for maybe a 50-50 split, right?
I mean, that's my thinking right now is that his best bet is to get the 50-50 carries unless, like you said, Darrell Henderson does get injured and where he gets the bulk of the carries at that point. But I just, for me, I'm still in shock that it was kind of the absolute opposite of what a lot of us thought. So unless Darrell Henderson gets hurt, as a Cam Akers owner, I would know your best bet is a hope for a 50-50 split, and he makes the most of those 50-50s.
No, we'll say Henderson has been a guy that has faced injury in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So if Henderson was missed significant time throughout this year, Cam Akers sliding into the running back one spot, he would automatically dominate the team's carries. You wonder though, is this going to be a good offense in general for the running game? They mentioned on the broadcast last night, but the Rams weren't exactly the most dynamic rushing offense last year. And one thing I noticed was the Bills kind of bullied them around on the offensive line. And particularly noted whenever Matthew Stafford getting sacked as often as he did, that offensive line kind of poses a little bit of worries for me. Does that limit Cam Akers' ceiling?
I think so because obviously you do need a good offensive line or at least a solid offensive line to at least give you that little bit of time to get through the gap or get through the holes to where you can make something happen or to give you enough time to, or at least buy you enough time to make a move to the outside and get something out of nothing. But I saw that same thing that you saw. You know, the offensive line was just getting bullied left and right. And I mean, they were just hammering Stafford all night long. And I mean, even with the amount of carries and touches that Darrell Henderson had, he only had what, almost 50 yards rushing at best. So, I mean, it's not like he had a fantastic night either with all the carries he got. The offensive line could be a spell of concern for not even just Cam Akers, but both Cam Akers and Darrell Henderson.
Something to look forward to next week, and this might tell you a lot of what you need to know about the Rams offense moving forward, is they do play Atlanta. That is their next game on their
Mm-hmm.
schedule. Atlanta was a bottom 10 defense against the fantasy running back last season. So if Darrell Henderson and Cam Akers are able to have a good game, then that might put you back right back on track. However, if they struggle in that game, then you start to look at this and you're like, maybe I need to get out of the Cam Akers or Darrell Henderson business. Counterpoint, if they succeed in that game, do you think that that is a sell high opportunity or are you holding Akers?
I think it's more of a sell high opportunity because I think if you can get the opportunity, especially if you're going to get a 50-50 split, I think that could be an opportunity to at least sell to get a guy who can get some touches, you know, or make the most of it, like almost like a Kareem Hunt type situation. You know, you could sell high and maybe sneak out a Kareem Hunt to where, you know, as a Browns fan, I know Kareem Hunt's going to get a lot of receptions at least. He may not get a vast majority of carries, but he will get the ball through the air. And obviously, in PPR and half PPR formats, that's what you're looking for, anyways. A guy who can catch the ball and make the most of it. So, maybe you sell a little high. Maybe you can get a solid, at least pass catching back who knows going to come in and maybe even be in a 2 running back set to where you might have the main guy in the backfield and you might be able to get another guy to the outside a little bit and, have them play off it. So I think it could be a good sell high opportunity.
Do you still believe in the back, Cam Akers?
I still do. I have no doubt that the back Cam Akers is good. It's just the fact that he needs to get the touches. Having 3 touches, it's not going to tell you the whole story of what he can do throughout the season. If he did have the 15 touches, what could he do? Could he do more than a Darrell Henderson who only got 50 some yards, or would he have the same amount of production? So having 3 carries is not enough for me to confidently say, I'm not confident in, a backfield Cam Akers.
If we see less than 10 carries next week, what are you doing with him?
I think I'm looking to sell, or at least finding someone who I can replace him with that, could at least get you some points until you can find out what you can do with the Cam Akers, whether it's a trade or.
Are you starting him against Atlanta?
I would say yes. I'm confident enough to start him against Atlanta because, like you said, bottom 10 defense against the rush, and just a bottom 10 defense in general. So I think I could trust him. It's worth seeing for one more game at least. He's got a game against the Atlanta Falcons. I think this is a game where you could at least confidently say, I'll trust him in this game. And if this game he has the same result, then you start to panic a little bit and be like, okay, I might need to look to find another option to replace Cam Akers, or at least see what I can do with Cam Akers.
And I will echo that because I believe that you draft him high to begin with. You draft him in the first 4 rounds. It's too early to start benching a guy that you put so much draft investment in, and going against a matchup that should be favorable, at least going into the preseason, should be favorable against Atlanta. You kind of have to start a guy like that in week 2. You're just going to have to grit your teeth and hope for the best result. But anyway, guys, let us know how you're feeling about Cam Akers, what you should do. Maybe you have any trade requests or trade proposals that you're interested in. We could kind of weigh those options. Leave any and all fantasy football questions in the comment section. Leave a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel. From Juju Talk Sports and Andrew Hagenbaugh. Stay safe, happy, and healthy. And we will see you next time.